Good morning.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lé ibo níṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú.
This country is insecure. This country is getting bankrupt, and it's mainly because of corruption and incompetence. What APC is out is to make sure that we stabilize this system of multi-party democratic system by voting the PDP out.
Kasikiani, please let me know if the audio is working just before we proceed. Yeah. So let me know when the audio comes on, and then we can proceed. I'm checking it out myself. So good morning from wherever you're watching from. Beautiful. So I think we are good to go. So welcome to Maiyegun's Diary this morning. Maiyegun's Diary Political. Yes, I'm not doing this sermon in the what do you call it, in the kitchen today. Good enough. I feel like I should relax doing this with you today because it may take us longer than an hour. So we will use the time judiciously. So to all of you who are joining me, thank you. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, I know that some of you have not subscribed. Yes, if we can have 400, 500, up to 600 people on YouTube, and we don't have that same number of subscribers among you, you can do that before you continue, okay, as you are joining this video this morning. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Maiyegun Live. And if you have read the caption of the broadcast, which I'm going to quickly go over with you, yes, if you have read the caption of the broadcast, you can make your own contribution accordingly. And I indeed captioned this with Buhari or Osinbajo have no shame over their failure. They have no shame. And that is the title of today's sermon. And we are going to break everything down. Yeah, I'm going to break everything down for you to be able to understand that even though you cannot shame the shameless, that shouldn't stop you from calling out their shameful existence without them having to rub it over you, because that is what they do. They will rub it over you. They will tell you, well, it was really bad before. So it was really, really bad. So you should appreciate them. You know, failed people want you to appreciate them. They want you to be grateful for being alive in their own failure. Osinbajo, who we call the professor, yeah, should we call him professor or senior advocate of nonsense? The fake Pastor Ruga. He was their poster boy. He's the one who always play about with numbers. So we want to talk about them today by playing them their cards. Excuse me. So it was Osinbajo and the gang that promised to give you 3 million jobs every year. You remember? They were supposed to have created 12 million jobs by themselves through the economy and the rest of that. Not that government needed to create jobs for you and give you job. No. Government needs to create the environment that makes business prosper. And when businesses prosper, right, they employ more people. And when more people are employed, they pay taxes to government. Government becomes more prosperous enough to be able to meet all their own social responsibility, their governmental responsibility. But that didn't happen. Jobs were lost. Jobs were not created by them. For 5 years, more people have lost their job. In fact, 27 million people have lost their jobs in 5 years of APC regime in Nigeria. That is a statement of fact. So they didn't create jobs. You lost jobs. They told you they were going to give you 40,000 megawatts of electricity by the end of 2019. It is in their manifesto. They said it. And they told you how they were going to do it. They were dramatic about it. Today, you are now struggling between 1,000 and 3,500 megawatts of electricity. These guys actually met the electricity at 5,000 plus. The generating system or the electricity generating plants in Nigeria, according to the PDP, they told us that they were generating over 8,000, but they could only transmit 5,000 at the time when these Janjaweed criminals came in. But they didn't give you 40,000 megawatts of electricity. Rather, they give you darkness. So you are hovering around between 1,000 and 3,500. The rest, you are reading them on social media. You are reading about them on the papers. And I mean, you never really feel them, do you? Now, in 5 years, they told you that they were going to be paying you. 5 years ago, they told you that they were going to be paying you unemployment allowance. Unemployment allowance is that if you are a graduate, meanwhile, that's what they said. They said graduates will be collecting unemployment allowance until they find job. And they said the allowance you'll be collecting will be equivalent to the salary you should get if you were working. I didn't forget all that. It was the same fake Pastor Ruga, Ikene Shatabandu, Agbowoni Babaoja, Osinbajo, fake Pastor Osinbajo. That was the one analyzing how they were going to do all of that. And many of you believed. So they said they were going to be paying you allowance for a whole year after your graduation before you find employment. And it will be if you graduated as a doctor, right? Or you graduated as probably as an economist or an accountant who should be working in an accounting firm or the bank or whatever you graduated as an engineer, architect or whatever. So you were supposed to be collecting the salary equivalent to that your discipline, to that your degree from the government of APC. They told you that, but they didn't. Today, many of you are now beggars on social media. Graduates, educated boys and girls, young boys and girls. They told you that they were going to take care of you. That was why they gave you change in 2015. And today they are telling you that poverty has sort of, grown deeper. Many of you are more poorer now. Millions of you have fell into poverty more. While those who have been met with the sudden death are also in the number. That is what they brought. They didn't give you any allowance. They told you then that it was corruption. It was corruption to pay subsidy on something they can produce in Nigeria. You see, ask yourselves, even if PDP did not build any refinery for the past 16 years, how many years do you think it would take to build one refinery under APC? This is the 50th year. And instead of the importation of fuel to reduce in Nigeria under this criminal government, it has escalated, it has increased. You import more now. Now they are waiting for Dangote refinery to start so that they can give him that monopoly. You know what I mean now? Create another crisis. And that is another wahala in the waiting. It's a story for another day. They didn't build any refinery. And Buhari made himself the petroleum minister. Immediately he came in. He made himself the petroleum minister, meaning he's in charge of policy making and policy directive of NNPC and anything that has to do with oil industry in Nigeria. Your president is the minister of petroleum as well. But here you go. For 5 solid years, is it that they didn't have anybody that could at least turn around one of those 5 refineries in Nigeria, just single one around within 2 years, at least 2 years to bring it up to optimum capacity? Can you ask yourself, who are those who stopped him from fixing your refineries, even if it's not going to build another one? 5 solid years, 5 years. That is the question you should ask yourself. Who are you going to blame? That PDP didn't build it, or that they didn't renovate it, or that spending over 4 trillion naira on subsidy, paying oil marketers, faceless people who are collecting these billions in dollars. It's more profitable for you than for them to spend the same money on your refineries. The same thing every politician will tell you. In 2023, they are going to tell you about how they should have built the refineries, how they should even concession the refineries. They will give you all these funny ideas. But guess what? It is not profitable to criminal politicians in Nigeria to let you have your oil cheaper or produced in Nigeria. If they produce it in Nigeria, they will tell you it's going to be too cheap and will not give access to free government money. It is greed. And the people in government, no matter who they are, PDP or APC. So Buhari came. Buhari came for 5 years. They didn't build any. Ask yourselves, who are those who stopped him from building the new ones that could have prevented this today's, cries? But they kept mute. The business continued. Sharing of the money, oil bunkering, stealing of your crude oil, taking advantage of everything they can take advantage of, including even when they bring the refined product back, they still want to steal your money to give it to you. That's what they brought in 5 years. Do not mistake that. But we no longer queue for petroleum. That is a stupid excuse. So because you no longer queue for petroleum, makes sense that they are still importing your fuel to Nigeria when it is cheaper for you to produce it in Nigeria. Who do you think is now the problem? PDP. I don't know. We'll talk about that today. Right before your eyes, you have witnessed criminals metamorphosed into statesmen. When I say statesmen, I mean when career criminals, your politicians, right, become the moral arbiter, the people who preach to you about morality, who represent you when it comes to what is right or wrong, and you see them stinking in corruption of all kinds. They are rotten in morality. But they offered anyway to end corruption for you. They offered. They said, when we come in, we will stop all wastages. We will stop all this unnecessary money being given to public officials. We will stop all of that. But they didn't. They kept the 11 presidential jets for Buhari and his family, his children, his daughters. They kept them for his family members. The rest, they kept for themselves, like the Senate president, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the wife of the president, their own other lackeys and other criminals in their, their co-travelers, they call them. So the wastage continued. Even after they got the power. 5 years down the line, the wastage continues. Now they are now bringing new drama, whereby the government at the center is now collaborating with other group of people that they commissioned themselves to help you recover stolen money. Now, while they are recovering stolen money, they are relooting the recovered loot right before your eyes. And no one is being punished because it is the monumental corruption going on every scale of government since this lifeless, corrupt government came to power. We will talk about that. Right before your eyes, one of the reasons why many of you emotionally supported the change, even if you didn't really believe that they had any change they were bringing, was the fact that you believed that Buhari being the lifeless president of Nigeria will help you stop Boko Haram. I actually had some people who actually believed that the reason why Boko Haram won't stop was because a Southerner was the president of Nigeria. Maybe we should just give them the power. Maybe they will stop killing themselves. And many people in the South will stop worrying about terrorism coming down to the South. I know so many people who sentimentally supported the Buhari government. They were not expecting much. They just wanted the bloodshed, the bloodbath to stop. And to them, according to them, Jonathan was weak. Buhari as your president will be able to stop the killings. Many people agreed with that. But 5 years after that, the statistics shows that more people have been killed than they've ever been killed before APC came to power. Between January and May 2020 alone, over 4,900 people were confirmed killed by either bandits, by the Boko Haram, by every other clashes here and there, kidnappers, and in fact, by the policemen themselves. Do you know that among the victims of those who died so far this year under this government alone, right? The soldiers were among, police force and policemen were among, policemen, policewomen, other security agents were among those killed by either the terrorists or the bandits, as they call them. This year alone, more people have been killed than those that were killed before this government came in. So those who had the sentiment of, I don't expect anything much from them. I just want them to end this bloodbath. The killings is too much. Now, more people are now in IDP camps now. Before they came to power, we were dealing with Boko Haram. Boko Haram displacing, dislodging, and kidnapping people. So many IDP camps, internally displaced persons camps, were created under the PDP. But instead of those, and Buhari and this fake Pastor Ruga, they were going about telling everyone that they will ensure that everyone displaced by terrorism, all the people living in IDP camp in Borno, in Yobe, in Niger, in Shoko, in everywhere, all over the north, they will be returned back to their lands safely if they can at least vote out incompetent Jonathan. I won't forget that. That was what they promised them. But sadly, 5 years after, the numbers of people living in IDP camps in Nigeria, in northern part of Nigeria, in eastern part of Nigeria, in the south part of Nigeria, which is the Niger Delta they love to call themselves, more people in Yoruba land, more people who are living in IDP camp, isolated camps, where people are now begging to survive, have increased by ×5. We now have people, before now, we used to have a IDP camp in Bakassi because of the Bakassi Peninsula Wahala under Obasanjo then, abandoned by Nigeria. You remember? Those people were living in, but that was before now, even though recently the governor of Cross River State, Ayade, built a new homes for all the people of Bakassi, abandoned for years by Nigeria. So, which is commendable. I have to acknowledge that. But we used to have all those before this government came in. Now we have more IDP camps now in Akwa Ibom, in Ebonyi, in Cross River. People who are victims of Fulani herdsmen, not just Boko Haram anymore. Go back to the Middle Belt area. Now, more people are now living in IDP camps. And what does IDP camp even mean? They glorify refugee camp as IDP camp, internally displaced person. Internally, normally, the only thing that will make you an IDP person, internally displaced person in your country, is because of natural disaster. Are you with me now? Or war. War. In Nigeria, natural disaster is not the reason why people are in IDP camp. They glorified refugee camp. People are in IDP camp right now because they are running away from persecution, religious persecution, terrorist attack, and then other tribal and genocide orchestrated attack on them, running away from death in their own country. So they glorified refugee camps as internally displaced persons camp. So that number has grown astronomically in 5 years. And you know why? The reason is because apart from those who have already been forced economically to migrate, that has caused so much migration to nowhere, at the end of the day, increased crime. But there are those who are now who were living in their homes, who were farming on their lands in 2015, who were going about their normal businesses despite the economic hardship of that time. They were surviving death from the barrel of guns of marauding terrorists called bandits was actually not this much. But guess what? Many of them have lost everything. They are now living in refugee camps that nobody really cares about. They take advantage of them still. So on this corruption, relooting, security, and the rest of that, things have escalated. I'm speaking to your mind, and that is where you should begin to know that, you see, if they have shame, Osinbajo, fake Pastor Ruga, Agbowore Babaoja, of Nigeria, he shouldn't be speaking or saying anything again that anyone should be listening to if they have any shame, if he himself has any shame. But they say you can't shame the shameless. Fine, but we'll continue to talk about their shamelessness. Even if they won't listen, their children will eventually have to live with this. They didn't do that. No refinery, no one single refinery built in 5 years. 5 years. So the effect of all of this is now what you are dealing with today. There is a popular saying that you can win election with propaganda, but you cannot rule a country with, you can win election successfully with a propaganda or by propaganda, but you cannot rule a country successfully by propaganda. It will always backfire. Instead of them to reflect on all their failures, admit to them, they are now passing the buck, looking for who else to blame for their misery and for their, it is actually, deliberate, by the way, for their failure that they fail to admit to. And we will remind them, you like them, you support them, you think people asking to leave or break up Nigeria are just being, overreactive. They are just not being sensible. In your own mind, you are very sensible because you are listening to the criminals who told you they understand what governance is all about, when they do not. I came to Scotland, to the glory of God, 8 years ago. It was the best and the most important decision of my life. It changed everything for me. Not just about changing my, my economic status. That's just it's just a part of it. But it made me a different person. I got to understand the fact that, you see, the criminals ruling Nigeria, it is not because they don't know what is right, but they know what is right that they won't do, and they also know their audience who have limited expectation of them by all standard. You expect them to be thieves, not to be responsible. They said they are serving you, even though you are serving them. But the bottom line that some of you don't really get is this: to be a public official is a job. You apply for it. You present your CV, your qualification. You defend out your CV. Then you tell us your prospects. What are you going to do differently? It was because you had problem. That was because you thought you had problem. That was why many of you supported these criminals now, right? Now that they have even failed, worse off than the people they took over from, they don't have any excuse for you, or even yourself. You have no excuse or any reason to excuse their failure in any way. You have no any reason. They said they are serving you. They are failing at their job. You are and the consequences of their failure is the lives that you are losing every day. Yes, the people that are dying, those that are being killed by terrorists, they are those who are lucky. They are those who are lucky because the life ended for them abruptly, even though unfortunately. But there are so many of you who are going through the hell that they have created so far. And they say when you are going through hell, you should continue going, You should continue. You are going through hell. And it is due to the consequences of their own actions. The actions of yesterday, the actions of today. When I came to Scotland, I met a country where 80% to 90% of their citizens knows that they were supposed to be a country. They were not supposed to be part of a country. And they put together a book, a detailed book about the future Scotland future. If you have anybody in Scotland who has been here for a while, who has also sort of witnessed the Scottish independence campaign, the election, the referendum that eventually was lost. The election was lost, but the war, the campaign was won. Yes, if you are living in Scotland and you don't have this book, Scotland's Future, which detailed, when they say future, it is not a make-up story. This is about Scotland, everything you need to know about Scotland, and their dreams, their aspiration on education, life, education, skills and employment, international relation and defense, justice, security and home affairs, environment, rural Scotland, energy and resources, culture, communication and digital, building a modern democracy, and all that. This is what this book is all about. Things that details everything that makes a modern society. I read this a lot. And most of the time, I wish I can grab a book that says Nigeria's future, that will give good recognition to everyone who makes up Nigeria. Because you will never find anything like that anywhere, because there is no country called Nigeria. There is no Nigeria. It is a ruse. A complete one. When I listen to, and this is what I want to pass on to some of you who are very much at the forefront of the breakup of Nigeria, especially people in Yoruba land. We are so good at putting together packages like this. Put this together, make it a readable content, publishable content that the Yorubas, because this is important. Nigeria is going nowhere. Nigeria goes nowhere with this crop of criminals who themselves are the real Nigerians, while the rest of you are just the subjects in that country. Whether they are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Fulani, Ishekiri, from wherever they come from, as long as they belong to the project Nigeria, they will continue to come back to tell you they will give you job, they will give you electricity, they will build your roads, they will build your schools, but you will never find anything that is practicable to read anywhere on how they are going to give you that. You will never find it. You need a country that really gives you definition, the one that identifies you as someone in that country, as a citizen, so to say. Something that drives you, that makes you feel like, if I'm going to contribute to the growth of my own country, to the betterment of this society I'm living in, is it going to be in the area of finance or the economy? And when they did, right, they broke them down so well that you could understand where the future of Scotland will be if they have independence. You can tell. I can sit down here and start telling you things, not only because I am living in Scotland, because I understand what is Scotland. How many of you, including those who are ruling you, how many of them do really understand Nigeria as what it should be? Because there is nothing. Everything they put together about Nigeria is fictional. Trust me. They are the imagination of those people of those era to make themselves feel like, well, this will be a country we want to see. When you love a country, you will fix the country. When you love a country, you will fix the country. It is only when you hate your own country that you destroy your country. And because they have failed, they are now blaming people, asking them to man up. Take care of your people. It's a simple request. That is what you promised to do. Take care of them and stop stealing from them. Take care of them and stop killing them and stop playing dumb. And they say, yeah, we are taking care of them. You people are the troublemaker. The people asking the people to ask questions are the troublemaker. How? How? Your action should define what a country you are giving to them. You said Nigeria was going bankrupt in 2015. Now Nigeria don't go bankrupt completely. So broke that they cannot grow the country anymore except they borrow money. Why they borrow? They are also losing out on the mega resources they are making in servicing debt while they loot the rest. Right before your eyes. Attorney General of Nigeria collected $18 million from the Abacha loot return in 2018. You heard about that? What was your reaction? And where is the money? They asked them, where is the money? They said, well, we have put the money back into building, to building rail line. We are building more things. We are building roads. We are putting all the return loot into the national treasury. How does that make any sense? Because that is what the fraudsters does. That's what they do. They confuse you. And they are very good. Whenever they confuse you, then they will bring the Kenneth Shatabandu, fake Pastor Ruga. They will bring him in to start speaking grammar, to start making you feel like, okay, I think that makes sense. Okay, yeah. So they are using the money to build rail line. That's good then, if that is what they are using the money for. On the other hand, they are borrowing billions from China to construct the same rail line that they are using return loot to fund, according to them. Then you ask yourself, then what happened to the revenue you make from tax, you make from custom, you make from immigration, you also make from the sale of oil? What happened to all of that? Then they bring another story and tell you, we are using that too to construct road, to construct a railway. It doesn't make any sense. These things don't add up. If he says, if we don't pay our loan to China, they will take over everything they are building. What happened to our own money that you put in it? Then you ask yourself, it is absolute hogwash, fake. So for 5 years, they collected, they collected over, they shared over 4 trillion naira on oil subsidy. They couldn't use 1 trillion from that money to fix even the Port Harcourt refinery to be working like 100%. They couldn't do that in how many years? In 5 years. They brought a guy, the former Ike, what's that guy's name? Ike Wanshuku, or what's his name again? Their former Minister of Petroleum for State. They said, Nigerian refineries are going to be working by the end of 2016. We have already awarded the contract. The Russians are doing this. The Germans are building that. The Chinese are constructing this one. Then you ask yourself, what the hell is wrong? 5 years. 5 years. Your government just came back and said, well, sorry, we can no longer continue to pay subsidy anymore. But you took the same subsidy out in 2016. That is what fraudsters, that's what they do. You are their own what? You are their own pawn. And you are the pawn in their chess table. You see, in 2016, I don't know if you can see that on your screen. In 2016, why Buhari removed fuel subsidy? In 2016, why Buhari removed fuel subsidy? Who said that? Fake Pastor Ruga. Ikene Shatabandu, Redeemed Pastor Ruga, Osinbajo. It was the one that was explaining it to you then in 2016. Let me see if I can bring the date closer. In 2016, it was the one telling you, May 13, 2016, almost a year after they came to power. Osinbajo was explaining it to you why Buhari removed fuel subsidy in 2016. Oh. Then, after that, there is another story. In April 2019, they brought another story. They said, why federal government to look into gradual subsidy, gradual removal of fuel subsidy, says Finance Minister. That is April 2019, before the election. Oh. Then that is not all. Then they came back again. That was April 12th. Then they came back, that's same April in 2019. This is it. This is how much they spent on subsidy. Remember, they removed it in 2016, Abi, and it was Pastor Ruga that explained it to you then. So when they remove it, you know what I mean? When they removed it in 2016, what they told you then was that it was because it was too expensive and fraudulent, right? So then the price of petroleum jumped from 87 naira to 145 naira. But by April 2020, this year, they were explaining to you that they spent 1.5 trillion on fuel subsidy in 2019 alone. 1.5 trillion on subsidy. Even though you are buying it for 145 naira per liter, they were paying other people they said are the marketers. Now look at that. Federal government. 1.5 trillion for subsidy. Then, when they said they will remove subsidy gradually in April 2019, when they said this in 2019, that same April, by 3 days later, the same people came again in 2019. The people came, that was this before the election. They came again, they said, no plan to remove fuel subsidy now, federal government. The same subsidy that Osinbajo removed in 2016. By 2019, the same people are now coming to say no plan to remove subsidy now. Federal government insists. Then they spent 1.5 trillion after that. That is what fraudsters, that's what they do. You know what I mean now? You are just their own pawn. You are just a pawn on their chess table. You are the mugu, for those of you who don't have a clear understanding of what they are doing. But that's what they are doing. So now, who are they using? They are using fake Pastor Osinbajo 419. He is a complete shameless man. You can take this to the bank. He is a complete shameless man, and he has a refuge. He has a place where he actually keep refuge, which is using his religion. Some of you will feel offended. You don't talk to elders like that. Don't do this and that. I understand your dilemma. Okay, I do, and I really hope that you get your healing as soon as possible, because you are sick, and that's the problem. You see, these guys don't know God, and I'll continue to say it. They have no idea about this God that all of you are carrying about in your head. They have no idea. But they know you are so concerned about that God, and you believe that everything associated with that God is so good and must be good. Even if it's not good, it could be the will of God that it should not be good. Why is your God? Why do you think God will hate you? Ask yourself. When politicians fail you, they quickly use God, or some of their people try to use God to persuade you, to tell you that you should watch your mouth. Don't say that, because you know what? God will deal with them. Why do you think God hates you? Like, why do you think God will make you or give you a country like Nigeria, and then the same God keeps giving you terrible people who are only interested in stealing and killing you, stealing from you and killing you? Do you think God actually hates you that much? Have you asked yourselves? Before you play that card of God this, God that, that's the reason why many times when you come to me, or you try to bring or try to play the God card, right? When you try to play God card on Maiyegun's diary, it doesn't really get to me. I just laugh at you. But it's only that it also exposes your own hypocrisy too. Because in the process of trying to tell us about that, your God, you begin to sound like you are actually a ritualist. Because according to you, only ritualists have an evil mind. But in the process of you trying to fight for that, your God, then you ended up sounding like a worse ritualist yourself, someone who can kill. And then you say, it is God that will kill you. Why do you think God hates you then? Do you think God hates you? For 60 years, for 60 years, and there is no single government that indeed really take that your country forward. For 60 years, you have had pastors, you have had alhajis, you have had alhajas in different positions of authority in your country. You've had lawmakers who are alhajas, deacons, deaconesses, pastors, reverend, and all of them who have been involved in politics one time or the other because they could use that religion to get to you, right? Including this Ikene Shatabandu, this fake Pastor Ruga. You may not know his story. Some of us know his story. Many of you actually know his story, but you just chose to, well, you know what I mean, just to be a Nigerian as you are, a foolish born moron. Yeah, it is a choice. The same fake Pastor Ruga, who happened to be the lawyer to Jaga Bandit, the Jaga Wiri, the Jaga Thief, the Jaga Addict of the Lagoon State. The one we know, I be the one we don't know. The shittiest city to live in the world, Lagos State, our Lagos State, our Lagos State. Every land property confiscated by this, this shameless thief called Ifnumbu. Every property, every penny stolen from people, every power wield is wielding today. The person who put that together for him legally and put all the legal knots and tie them on some of his corrupt existence is the same fake Pastor Ruga, the same Ikene Shatabandu, a fake pastor. There are many in Redeemed Church. There are so many. And don't think that because I mentioned your church, that is me attacking your religion. I understand your sentiment. But guess what? If that makes you angry, it's because you're not, you don't want to be truthful to yourself. There are mad people in your churches. There are mad lunatics in different churches in Nigeria, posing as pastors, men of God. Yeah, bunch of fraudsters, pickpockets. Eh? So don't be offended. One of them became vice president of Nigeria, and his name is Ikene Shatabandu, fake pastor Osinbajo, fake pastor Ruga, manipulative as hell. He was the same criminal who brought about the idea of Ruga. That's why we call him Pastor Ruga. It was fake Pastor Ruga that brought the idea of a Ruga to Nigeria. It was the one who wanted to use their usual manipulative, useless education to manipulate the whole country. And they said, we need to bring a bill called rural grazing areas. And it was actually a disguised plot to steal your land and force you out of your land. And if you don't do, the law will make you a criminal for not giving up your land. They call it Ruga, a pastor. And they wanted to pass that through the law. They wanted to make it a law. And they ended up actually making it laws in some other states right now. Who brought the idea? A northerner, an empty-head northerner, will likely not have a creative mind of how to manipulate the whole country by using a funny, bigger grammar to put together a package that will put the entire country at war in the future. And it's the same Pastor Ruga. The same thing they did in Lagos. There are many, many lands that they confiscated in the name of government under the same Tifnumbu, only for those lands to end up in the hand of private companies, banks, private individuals who are now reselling the land in Lagos. And today, you know what is going on in Lagos, Nadi? Go to Lekki, go to all those areas and see what is happening. Do you know who did that? It was under the same fake Pastor Ruga when he was the Attorney General of, and Commissioner of Justice of Lagos State under Tifnumbu. So we know him very well. Even if he like, he can go to Jerusalem and then carry the original Bible and put it on his head and wrap it up with a turban. We will still tell you who fake Pastor Osinbajo is. He's a fake pastor that, we can tell. You can see. It was the one who brought that about. He's a Christian. He's an educated person. He's a pastor. And another pastor, Femi Oponu Adeshina, who is also an Aslika in the Asshole Rock. Asshole Rock. That one also came out and said, what is the big deal about you losing your land? You can either give your land or you give your life. That's what that one said. He is also a pastor who also preaches to people. And you all heard another Shekau pastor from Winners Chapel, Living Faith Church from Port Harcourt, a lunatic too. And you could tell he's not alone. I cursed the day you were born. I cursed the day you this and that. He's a bastard, a bastard. Yes. He's a bastard. Yes. He doesn't know his father. Yeah. I'll kill you. Hey. Inside the house of God. Lunatics. Bunch of lunatics. In the name of religion. So we have seen that. And that is why we will no longer be swayed or in any way cajoled to stop talking about them. You are a northerner, so you can get upset. But I have, I've actually seen more northerners now coming out to say, "Oh boy, before they kill us, so before they finish us, so it is better." We will speak up, and they are speaking up now, which is great, by the way. But if you are offended because of the names I call all your criminal leaders, you are new. And if you are not new, that means finally you are getting your own healing on Maiyegun's diary. You know, the purpose is to make sure that you get really angry and then probably end up blaming me for your problem. So by the time you begin to blame me for your problems, by the time you begin to get offended with what I say, by the time you begin to get really, really mad, it means my message is eating you. You see, you can take my message in and not react. But the moment you manage to grab your phone and you begin to react and do all of that, it means the miracle is working on you. You are going to run mad. Just relax. Make you do them stage by stage. If you are not offended, guy, if you are not offended by the killings and the corruption and the failure of all these criminals you call your leaders, but you are offended because someone called them their real names, my brother, you will get healing on this platform. It is called the platform of truth. You are welcome, by the way, the altar of truth. You will get healed. And if yours is beyond healing, then we will probably have to add you to our own ever-growing, bolstering block industry as well. Okay, but that's just on the side. Do not get offended. Why should you be offended in the first place? Ask yourself, if Maiyegun is asking them, where is the 3 million jobs they promised you? Should you not be asking them? Should you not be demanding answers? If Maiyegun is asking them that, listen, just shut up. Tell us why you haven't given us the 40,000 megawatt of electricity as planned, as promised. Or why are you not giving us the unemployment allowance? Why are more people now living in IDP camp because they are being attacked and killed by Fulani herdsmen, the terrorists? These are the questions you should be asking, and should get you offended, by the way, if you are not getting the right answers. But if you are offended because you think, some of you are also probably believing that someone needs to tell you to go and ask the questions and get answers, right? You are overrating yourselves. You are overvaluing yourselves. Many of you who have accepted the madness going on in Nigeria, many of you who have accepted it in a way, yeah? What you don't understand is that it is a choice. It's your choice. You can keep it. There are people who are not going to accept that, okay? There will be nobody to come in and tell you to go and demand, or will come in to lead you to go and demand for what is yours. You don't have to. But for those who are going to demand for it, we encourage them, because when you keep quiet, and the consequences comes after you, it won't be, oh, because you didn't support them, or you did support them or not, okay? Before you become their victims. There is nobody that will come back there to help you fight for what you are suffering from, okay? There is no one coming to fight for you. That's why we have to keep appreciating the likes of Omoyele Sowore and every comrade that is standing up right now in that country, doing what they are doing, okay? You don't have to fight. You don't have to. Enjoy it. It is going to get worse. That's one thing I come on Maiyegun's diary to remind you. It is going to get worse until you put a break, on it. And how do you put a break on it? I have seen a lot, and I have enough confidence. I have been following the October 1st protest, which is being called by the different freedom groups in the country right now. The Oduduwa Republic campaigners, the Biafran agitators, Biafran campaigners, Biafra Republic campaigners, to put it in proper perspective, right? These two groups from Nigeria, which I belong to one, which is the Oduduwa Republic. They are calling for a national, or when I say national protest, that is a national protest in Oduduwa Republic. And we know all the areas that make up the Oduduwa Republic, the Yoruba land that makes up the Oduduwa. So people who believe in Oduduwa Republic are calling on everyone to say, you see, on October 1st, join as much as you can. If you are in that country, join them. The criminals there today will tell you that even if they have failed, they are telling you that don't break up the country. Please don't take away our feeding bottle. Let us also still endure. Maybe something will happen later. We know we have failed you. We know we cannot give you the country you want. We know we cannot give you any one Nigeria, even though we are telling you about one Nigeria all the time. But please don't break up. Don't break it up. We are very good being together as a big, good for nothing country, a crippled giant country. We are good. But let us keep that name, please. Politicians who are telling you that, what they are saying is, please don't take away our feeding bottle. Now it is left for you. They have taken away everything from you, and they will continue to take everything from you until they take your life. They are taking lives every day. By all means, I want to see it one day where I'm going to be able to hold a 648 booklet, 48-page booklet like this, that is going to tell me what type of Oduduwa Republic I am going to be living in. The professors in Yoruba land, stop wasting your energy to save Nigeria. You cannot save Nigeria. Those who are leading Nigeria are shameless, and you cannot shame the shameless. Now, we need to start putting all these resources together now. Put this stuff together. Give it to every child. Give it to every household. Written in Yoruba language where they can read it. What are you going to do? Yeah, what are we going to have in Yoruba land in the next, in the first 10 years, if Yoruba people stand up to fight for Oduduwa Republic, home and abroad? You need to put something together like this. What is Oduduwa Republic going to look like in 10 years when it comes to, number one, you build your case. I know you have done that so far. I've not been able to access some of them, even though I've been seeing the bit by bit of the case for Oduduwa Republic. Okay, so I'm passing this message on to you now, and I'm giving this instance so that you can have an idea what I'm talking about. I'm not saying this don't exist. Okay, I'm not saying you don't have anything towards Oduduwa Republic right now that we can access, materials, videos, and books as well. I know we do, but I want you to now, for this generation, you need to put together an idea that meets 21st century country, a 21st century, that is for the future. So when you call it Oduduwa Republics, the future in Oduduwa Republic's future, the Odua future, being Oduduwa citizen, being, give it name that is captivating enough that you can use Yoruba. I mean, what do I mean by that? You can write us the English version and write us the Yoruba version. Print this out. Rich people in Yoruba land. You see, your wealth will be taken away from you by complete strangers soon. Many things that make you powerful in Yoruba land right now, simply because you are benefiting from Nigeria, will be taken away from you. If you are lucky enough that they are not going to take your lives, that is why your money now, your time in Yoruba land, all the powerful, educated people in Yoruba land, businessmen, elders, you know, the young people in Yoruba land, researchers, you know, scientists in Yoruba land, you know, beautiful people that have beautiful ideas in Yoruba land, for Yoruba land, should begin to put together comprehensive independent book that will become a must-have for every Oduduwa son and daughter. Comprehensive, well-researched. What is Oduduwa Republic going to be in 10 years? In the areas of, you know, finance. In the area of finance, and we'll talk about public finance on independence, early priority for action within sound public finances. So for the first 10 years of Oduduwa Republic, what are we going to look out for in the areas of banking and finance and all of that, which is going to be one of the foundation, the rock foundation of a country? Let an average Yoruba understand this. Put them down. Now, in the area of the same finance, yeah. So what is it going to be when it comes to supportive, competitive, and dynamic business environment, a value and well-rewarded workforce? You know, the currency. What is going to be the Oduduwa Republic currency? The fiscal rules. And when I say fiscal rules and financial regulation, tax system in Yoruba land, you need to put book together to explain this. What type of country are we going to have in Oduduwa Republic in these areas when it comes to the finance and the economy? When it comes to health, the well-being, and social protection, the areas like pension, how is it going to be? How is pension going to be in Oduduwa Republic? Then the area of social protection, when we talk about social protection for women, for children, vulnerable people, how are they going to be protected by law in Yoruba land, in Oduduwa Republic? Put that together for us. In the area of housing, you know, communities, what type of housing system are we going to, you know, deploy and I mean, you know, to explore for our people in Oduduwa Republic? How are we going to build our communities? The rural areas, the suburbs. What type of country are we going to build? There must be comprehensive explanation. We have them. But in a new country, a working country, there must be a comprehensive plan for that. So in the area of healthcare, social care, and even the hospitals. So we have them now, but what are we that is the fake one Nigeria put together that is not working. So if you want to have a Oduduwa Republic, let the campaigners put something together in that area. When it comes to education, skills, and employment, you see these three key things are also going to be the rock solid foundation for a working country. When it comes to the type of education we are giving, the type of skills we are also sharing for our young people, and the type of employment they will be open to, that will contribute to the economy of Oduduwa Republic, like the primary and secondary education, early learning and the child care support, child care for our children at early stage, supporting the universities for education skills and employment. For international relation and defense, we want an Oduduwa Republic with a clear-cut foreign policy that an average person can read. Not someone just jumping up and say, yeah, Oduduwa Republic, we have relationship with this and that. Anyone can say that. What type of relationship are we going to be having with the other countries? Let an average Yoruba be so educated enough that when he is talking about, Oduduwa Republic, independence, he will be speaking from a very, very intelligible, background, from a very good background of, a well-researched, educative content like this. So when it comes to justice, security, and home affairs in Yoruba land, in Oduduwa Republic, we want to be able to read what type of justice system are we going to have? What type of security and intelligence system are we going to have? What type of immigration system are we going to have? What type of citizenship are we going to have as Oduduwa sons and daughters? What makes you a citizen of Oduduwa Republic? You need to define that, and it should be well written, clearly written, for everybody to understand that if I'm going to be part of Oduduwa Republic, I know what I'm getting involved in. As a citizen, I'm going to be having this, and I'm going to work towards that. Yes, that's how to build a country. And when it comes to the environment too, the rural Oduduwa Republic, that is the suburb How are we going to develop them? What type of a system are they going to be running that we also make sure that every development from every part of Oduduwa land is not missed by any part of Oduduwa land? You need to clearly state that for us to now say, yes, let us go ahead and fight this. Education, this, something like this. We educate our people and it will cheer them up towards asking for Oduduwa Republic. So when we talk about education, when we talk about environment, the rural communities, then in the areas of energy, which is electricity, the areas of other resources from these communities, how are we going to harness all those resources to help those communities first? There must be a clear-cut explanation for that. And this cut across, when I say environment, rural Oduduwa Republic, energy on power or resources, right? I'm talking about agriculture, which is actually our own mainstay economic resources, so to say. We are so blessed in Yoruba land if we have the good policy, good government that indeed support agriculture in this regard. You know, the fisheries, our sea, our waterways, our dam, our different rivers that can also produce fishes. Yes, we do have them in abundance. So food and drink, which is going to be about the restaurant, the hoteliers and all of that. What type of things, policies will guide them and still keep the environment safe, the people, the jobs, and on and on and on like that. We need a clear-cut, well-explained book on this. So when it comes to the environment, the energy, how you are going to generate energy that is going to power Yoruba land 24 hours, 366 days a year, non-stop. You have to give us that clear-cut, narrative. How we are going to achieve that? You need to put that in a book, and people need to do that by research, not a mumbo-jumbo, put-together jargons that people are using to promote their own political, agendas here. Yoruba land has oil and gas. I am from Ogun State, and from my own state alone, I can tell you that we have the abundance of liquid natural gas. We have that right now in Ogun Waterside, in Ogun State, where we have abundance in billions liquefied natural gas, where they are yet to tap. So that can become a bigger resources, and we have them more everywhere when it comes to crude oil and every other resources that can be very useful to generate power and to also power the oil and gas industry in Yoruba land. There must be clear-cut identification. You have to identify where we have all those resources in a book so that an average Yoruba son and daughter will know why they deserve to have their country instead of being part of the fake Nigeria. So when it comes to our culture, the communications and digital, so we'll be looking into the area of culture and broadcasting, the media, the communications, the postal delivery service, which is, the postal system. What type of postal system are we going to have in Oduduwa Republic? Is it going to be state-owned? Is it going to be private? Is it going to be both? And what are they going to be when we have Oduduwa Republic? You know what I mean? So we need that to also have to be in the book of a country we are looking forward to. So to the Oduduwa Republic leaders who are campaigning for that right now, openly or covertly, it doesn't matter. If you are also a supporter of Oduduwa Republic in your own small way and big way, you should also please make contribution towards this, whereby we can have one that really explains us, that takes care of our culture, tradition, and all that. So, Scotland is an architectural country. They have made their mark when it comes to architectural masterpieces all over the world that were designed by legends from Scotland. So, they put it in their book in the future, what they are going to be doing about building new structures, new houses, new, beautiful designs towards a beautiful Scotland. So they said, they put it in the book, building a modern democracy too. So part of this is that they want to have the transition to independence. They want to write their own constitution, which will cover the government and the citizens. Equality and human rights. In how to have equality and human rights in Scotland is here. So we need to have, you need to explain to us how we are going to have equality and human rights in Oduduwa Republic. What really explains that? as citizens. What is the right of the government? What are the rights of the citizen? Well explained. Put them together now. So we're going to also get out to equality, better government, and then the public services, civil society, and third sector. You call them CSO in Nigeria, civil society organization. In Scotland, they call them the civil society and third sector. So we want to know what they will be in the country called Oduduwa Republic. If you can put all of this together, readable content, whereby people like us can even tap from there and tell you historical content too, histories of Yoruba land. Let us put them in. Why we are so rich in culture, rich in tradition, and so great at wars. We have memorable stuff that makes us, unique. You need to put them together and put them in the structure of independence, book of independence, and let that go public. And from there, we can begin the process of, breaking up of that country with education and information, just same way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is doing in the area of educating and revolutionizing the Biafrans to stop asking questions that keeps them docile, to begin to ask questions that keeps them active. It's either you give us this or forget it. And since they began, more exposed and more enlightened, more enlightened than some of you who don't really like them, so to say. You don't like them because they're everywhere. You don't like them because they can come for you anytime, because they're everywhere. Do you know why they are everywhere? And they are speaking up? Because they have been exposed to so much information that will make an average person normally run like crazy, angry about everything in Nigeria, the lies they have told you. Now, you don't have any right to tell them how to react. That's one thing. I know some of them go out of their way, attack those that you shouldn't be attacking, but fine. You cannot tell them how to react when they now know the truth about the lies they have been told for so long. So Yoruba land needs similar thing. Education, facts, figures that you can present to our children. Let people read. You see all these guys who are acting up as educated individuals, exposed individuals, but they will tell you a lot about Nigeria that they know nothing about. They will make up all jargons to explain the reason why Nigeria is working or it will work, but they have no way to back all of that up. At the end of the day, they are lost in the shovel as well, right? You see, some of them, they are doing so because they have limited or no information about the Yoruba land or the Igbo land that everyone is asking to break away. If you can provide this, if you can do your research genuinely, if you can invest in this, our rich Yoruba people, our Yoruba, I'm not even talking about the politicians now. You see, when we come for them, they will run away. You won't see them. They will run away. If the people are so, if you empower people, if you harm people with a tool of education, facts, if they ask you questions, you cannot give them dumb answers. They will come for you. So when we have that in Yoruba land, you see all those politicians that are gallivanting about, and their thugs that they are buying guns for, paying money to, many of them will run away if we come for them. But you need to invest in this. All you rich people in Yoruba land, you need to make this your priority, to educate the people on why they need to leave Nigeria. Osinbajo will tell you not to leave. Tifnumbu will tell you not to leave. Everybody is on the queue, waiting to take their turn. And they will tell you the same thing, the same lie. They say it's like the same lie men tells the prostitute they go to. When they go to a woman that they are going to pay for sex, they tell you the same story. I don't like my girlfriend. Oh, my wife is so boring. They give the same story, but they are only waiting to take their turn. That is what the Nigerian politicians are to you. They see you as people they can come in and, fuck you from front, fuck you from back, fuck you from behind, and do all of that and walk away. But they just need to tell you one lie. The lie that says, I will be better than yesterday. So they will not tell you that they will break up Nigeria. They will tell you the reason why Nigeria should not break is because it is better together. Yes, Nigeria is better together for them, because that is where they are getting your own daily bread from. Where are you getting yours from when they take it from you? You don't get it from anywhere. So they won't tell you. So rich people in Yoruba land, this is where you should invest your billions now, before your wealth is taken away from you. Guess what? If they kill you today, if anything happened to you today, your children will not even be able to keep your wealth. Trust me, the worst thing is about to happen. They will come for you. Everything that makes you rich, everything that makes you think you are better than your peers, everything that makes your Yoruba, your Yoruba brothers and sisters to call you leader, elder, the things that makes them, worship you, it will be taken away from you by the coming marauders. And when the coming marauders and these invaders attack, right, your children will not be able to keep a penny. It will be great now if you invest in this research, put together people who can look together and put together a well-written, articulated future of Yoruba land, the future of Odudu. Don't even use future of Yoruba land. Use the future of Oduduwa Republic. It marks a very powerful message, and make it free. Distribute it, print it in Yoruba, print it in English language. Tell every Yoruba son and daughter why they should break up. When you explain that to them, what they are going to get, the country they are going to have, the politicians will attack you, but they will not be able to match you. If you invest your billions in this, and you make sure that our people get a copy of this, those who are going to get the audio of it, which is the audio book of it, invest in this billion, invest in these researches, put together all of this, make it a book. I will read it. Print millions of it and make it available for free for all Yoruba sons and daughters and everyone who is who is a friend of Yoruba land. We should do that. I have put up the challenge, and I hope that some of you are from Oduduwa Republic campaigners will do that. People like us can use our platform to tell the world about what you are doing because we love it. We want to have our own country. Yeah, but you are there. You have the you have the platform now. I have seen many of you doing that, but I know there are those who are also doing it because of 2023. There are those who are doing it because they are giving them money to be able to use them later in 2023 if Tifnumbu does not get a presidential ticket or it does not become the president. Then they will come back and start using Oduduwa Republic as a fake false passe. You know what I mean? But we know there are some who are genuine. But for those of you who are really genuine, and I'm talking to you, the billionaires now, commission this, make the calls, pick up your phones now, make that call. You have the money, don't you? You can fund this. Can't you? Yes, you have the money. It won't cost you. Listen, if you fund this as a billionaire in Yoruba land, you will be doing the generation to come a great deal of justice by putting it before them, their destiny. They can either fight for it or they can abandon it, but they cannot ignore it. Do you get that now? They can't ignore it if you do this and make it free. Even if they won't read them, there are millions that will read them if they can get their hands on them. There are millions all over the world like myself that would be so grateful if I can be holding this as Oduduwa Republic future, detailing everything about Oduduwa Republic, everything I want to know, every goddamn pictures that proves where all these things are, the location and every other thing, yeah? If you can invest your billion in doing this, it will be the greatest investment of your life as a billionaire. And I want you to do it if you can get my message after this broadcast today. Now, when we get to that, an average criminal politician in Yoruba land will no longer be coming to you and start talking to you like he's a smart person because he's telling you that it's going to be different from the other person. You will no longer, it will be hard and difficult for the culture of collecting 500 naira, a bag of gari, or even 10,000 naira empower job as a graduate. They are giving you 10,000 naira empower job and 20,000 naira empower job, a graduate, for goodness sake. So psychologically, they have already limited you. That shouldn't be a country you should be praying for. What is the essence of your prayer? Praying that you should continue to live in that poverty? Or praying that something happens that then your miracle will happen to you, and then what? What about others? That's not the life. They have forced that on you, telling you that you should be grateful because your own is better. Who told you your own is better? By being grateful, by accepting the lowest life that you can ever dream of. Were you dreaming to be this miserable when you got your admission into university? I'm talking to you. Yes, you. Yeah. Don't look away. I'm talking to you. When you got your admission into the university to go and get this education, this degree that you now carry about riding Okada with, or this degree that you're now carrying about, turned yourself to online beggar because they have destroyed the economy. that will ever give you that opportunity. Now, here you are. Was that the reason why you went to school? To become what you are now? I don't know what you are, but if you know that I speak directly to your mind, I think you should begin to ask yourself that. Is this what I really went to school to do? Did I actually struggle and suffer for those years to end up as this? And I'm supposed to accept that? How? When you begin to ask yourself that questions, my brother, something will tell you what to do. And one of what you will be told will not be that you should pray. You won't be praying. You will be angry and you'll be out asking questions and demanding answers. That's what you will do. So they deliberately did this to you. And if you don't have the opportunity of knowing the alternative, they are telling you now that breaking up of Nigeria is going to be war. How? Who is going to fight the war? Because the people that will fight you are the people who are keeping you captive. The establishment, the corrupt politicians, the corrupt pastors, the corrupt clerics, the corrupt all those terrorist Islamic scholars, and those evil ritualists who are also killing human beings for them in order to give them power, drinking human blood, birthing in human blood. Come on, guys. So they are telling you, they are the people telling you, you should not try the alternative, but endure the current. But if we have people who can put together and invest, put together something that will tell you the alternative is not wrong, if you haven't tried it, try it first. Do it genuinely. We are Yorubas, aren't we? We should be able to do this. And that is what you should be investing on. October 1st, I'm going to be supporting Oduduwa Republic that day. And I will also encourage you to do the same. But I don't follow the bandwagon, okay? I do things my way, my rule. And I'm glad that I have that privilege, okay? And I hope you do have that privilege too. You should be able to stand up for something you believe in your own way. So on October 1st, for those who are back home, for those who are actually, you know, the victims of all this madness, for those of you who are courageous enough to stand up, you have been standing up. I've been reading about you, trust me. And I've been personally proud of you, okay? And in my own way, I have my way of acknowledging that. And I'm doing that right now. I am proud of you, all of you who have been out so far standing up for Oduduwa Republic. I am very proud of you. I'm not in Yoruba land and I can use my own platform to tell the world about you. And that's what I'm doing now. Thank you. Continue. We will give you the support from this end and continue to tell the people the alternative is not wrong. When they tell you to break up Nigeria to save lives, it is not wrong. Why keep Nigeria and continue to kill people and take people's lives? Why the terrorists are doing their own with guns? The terrorists in government are doing their own with draconian policies that they deliberately targeted at you to destroy and kill you. So why should the alternative be wrong? They're already killing you, aren't they? So I am proud of you. I may not be, you know, probably doing it the way others are doing right now, but trust me, I have a very, very, very loud voice. I do. And my friends knows now. And they know about you. They've always known about you. So we are proud of you. Continue. And the billionaire Yoruba land, we love you. You will be better off in Oduduwa Republic. You just haven't thought about it. An economy or a country of over 60 million people. You will do better. Trust me, you will do better. Your money will be safer in Yoruba land, in Oduduwa Republic. You will be better off as Oduduwa billionaires than Nigerian Naira billionaires who live through the fear and through the crooked, through the criminality that Nigeria has become every day to further destroy the country that makes you that billions. But in Yoruba land, you will have it better. I want to live in a country whereby your billions can be explained better and not attached to you being a friend to a government. But there are genuine Yoruba billionaires and multimillionaires. This is what you should call up on now and invest in, and don't let politicians destroy this dream. I have given you the clue. You didn't become billionaire for being stupid. I believe that you are smarter. That is why you are billionaires. I have never seen any stupid billionaires, even though we never get 1,000. We can always say that man is a stupid man. There is no stupid billionaire. You can't be a stupid person and be a billionaire, except in Nigeria sometimes when you join the politicians, whereby all you need to do is to be blood related to a thief in government and you are a billionaire. But there are genuine billionaires in Yoruba land who actually made their money through the services that they offered or rendered to the public. And I'm talking to them. There is no stupid billionaires. If anybody tells you any billionaire is a stupid billionaire, genuine billionaires, they have no clue about what it takes to make resources and make money and put them together in billions and accumulate that much. If you haven't read that much, you should read up. There is no stupid billionaire. So yes, you are not stupid. You can invest your money in the right cause. That is what they do in this country. Rich people in Scotland, we have them here. Billionaires too, multi-millionaire in pounds. They were those who sponsor different groups who are after independence because they are better off in Scotland than the rest of the UK. And you should please invest your billion in this. Please do it. Call these guys up, put together something, put together materials that tells our people that they will do better as Oduduwa Republic citizens than being part of Nigeria. Now, let me say this to all of you who are living abroad. My dear brothers and sisters, Oduduwa sons and daughters abroad. Listen, you grew up knowing Nigeria. There is no wrong thing that we say about Nigeria that you don't know about. But they won't change. They won't change. We are all going to die anyway. So if we are lucky to live long enough, maybe we'll witness Oduduwa Republic. But what is wrong in witnessing Oduduwa Republic? You have witnessed Nigeria. Is there something else you really want to witness about Nigeria again? If I may ask you, is there any other thing? It's just this thing that you haven't really experienced. The banditry, the killings, the corruption, the looting, the human rights abuses, the police brutality. You know what I mean? Name it. Is there something else you want to witness about Nigeria that you are yet to witness that is still fascinating you in any way? Why do you think it is wrong to belong to a country where your population is over 50 million? What is wrong in that? Think about that. It is time for us in diaspora to put it together as our own call too. Yes, don't just say it, support it. There are so many mushroom groups everywhere saying they are Oduduwa Republic, but look for the genuine ones. Reach out to them, submit materials, submit memorandum, give ideas, tell them what we can do. Just the same way Maiyegun is doing right now. It is time to call it our own, to make it our own call too. There is nothing left to witness about Nigeria that you haven't seen. You have seen the First Republic. You have witnessed the independence. If you didn't, you've read about the independence. You have read about the 1963 Republican Constitution of Nigeria. You know what led to that. You know what led to the end of the First Republic that brought in the military in 1966, and then the program of military rule over the years. You witnessed all of that, the barbarity, the looting, the killing, the war, the genocide in Biafra land. You've witnessed all of that. What is that thing? Right before your eyes, a terrorist, a coupist, who in record is the only criminal who overthrew a democratically elected government in Nigeria. Buhari got away with it. God recompensated. You compensated him again in 2015 to make him president. 30 years after he led the terrorists to overthrow a democratically elected government, elected by the people of that time. He came back, he got compensated with democracy, and here you are. What is that thing as a Yoruba man, a Yoruba woman? What is that thing that you still want to witness about Nigeria that you are yet to, and that is making it difficult for you to agree that it is done, it is over? Invest your money and let people break up peacefully. Break up Nigeria to save lives. Do it. Maybe not for yourself. Do it for the generation coming after you. If you cannot lead the fight, invest in it. Let us send out this powerful education, this powerful, detailed education to our people so that they will know why it is better to have your country than to be part of a failed contraption. I'll see you some other time today. Good morning.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle so they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud.